Buster Pictures came in. Once Jaws really set the tone for what was to come after, and once the studio realized how much money could be made by these enormous pictures with all these things that you could sell, you know, these ancillary things that you could sell, the toys and the videos and all this stuff, they pretty much put the smaller pictures on hold.
The Rose was your first starring role in film, and probably still your most powerful role. There were people at the time who said, and you said yourself, that there were some similarities between Janis Joplin and you. She, of course, went off the rails in a big way. It seems you've stayed on the rails all these years.
I really was very conscious of staying on the rails because I wanted to have a long career, and that meant more to me than the party. I mean, I did my share of drugs and I drank my share, but I was so ill from it. I just didn't have the tolerance for it, and I saw what it did to my instrument. You know, I would lose my voice, I would be sick, I would be, you know, angry at everyone. I couldn't bear the feeling of being hungover. I simply couldn't bear it. And my work meant more to me, and I said, you know, I knew that it was one or the other. I couldn't do both.
You say your parents, who were children of the Depression, advised you can only count on yourself. Have you really found that to be true after all these years, that you haven't been able to trust others? I
have been very lucky in my choice of a husband. I met and married the man I was supposed to marry, and he has been a real boon to me. He has guided me in his way, because he's a very odd guy. In his way, he has really led me to do the right thing. He has. He's really kept me on the rails for the last few years, so to speak.
Much more recently, you quoted Hemingway to explain yourself.
I did?
The best you can do is last and get your work done. And you said, well, I've lasted. Now I'd like to get my work done. The question is, how will you know when your work is done?
You know, I think you do. I think it comes on you. I think you say, oh, you know what, that's enough. And there are so many kinds of work to do on the planet. There's not just one kind. There's not the thing that you chose when you were a child is not necessarily the thing that's going to see you to the end of your days. And I think the wisest person is the one that says, oh, you know, I'm going to put that aside and see what else there is. I think I will know. So far, I can still run in high heels. I still find
it's a famous run, actually.
Yes, it is.
It's a very distinctive run in high heels.
I think that there's I'm so fascinated by music because music is like science. For the first few years of my life, I didn't study it, and I started studying it, you know, maybe 20 years ago, and it's like it's infinite. So you can always be fascinated by music.
Well, looking back through the cuts, I did see some contradictions in what you've said over the years.
I never know what I'm going to say. I never believe a thing.
You've said you don't want to die on stage. You don't want to be left clinging to the shards of fame and glory. At the same time, you've said in other countries, you're allowed to sing and play music until you die.
Of course.
And you don't have to look good doing it.
That's right. That's right. And I do think that my small room with my small combo is coming, because I'm learning the piano, and I'm also learning the ukulele, and if push comes to shove, I will be out there with that little ukulele all by myself, and the hell with the rest of them.
Bette Midler, thanks very much for talking with us.